Hey y'all, it's Listening Lotus coming back with another read. I hope everybody's doing well out there, drinking your water, going outside. I always try to reiterate and give you guys those constant reminders just in case, you hadn't done it today, you might want to do it. If you didn't do it today, you might want to do it tomorrow. Just try to put a little bug in your ear. Not gonna hold y'all. We're just gonna head to jump in and see what is going on as far as the collective. Okay. With my lovely Lotus cards. This is like one of my top favorite decks. Y'all probably see me use these a lot. But they do help expose a lot of what may be going on in the subconscious, aka internal, the stuff that y'all don't really be trying to address or talk about. I'll be trying to go ahead and be like, no, we're going to do this because this is beneficial for your overall growth. So why not? Because that's literally all I be doing. All right. Okay. So the card, I need to scratch my arm. We have is to sit with the wound. That do be hard. I mean, my man got a stomach ache, and sometimes, like, no lie, how you be feeling about things, where the mind goes, the body follows, and we know that the gut, aka the stomach, is literally the source for a lot of our emotions. It's so much in this card alone. Like, wow. Okay. It reads, not everything needs to be fixed right away. Some healing begins when you're willing to stay with what hurts, okay? To sit with the wound. Let's just see what some of the wound might be for some of you guys, okay? What is the wound? Because it's not giving your typical heartbreak. This ain't what that is. This ain't giving, I owe the IRS X amount of dollars. That's not what this is giving. Even though that could be, hey, that's a painful wound. I'm not even gonna laugh on that, okay? For real. Let's see. What could be some of the wounds potentially? Unless y'all don't want to tell me, because that's cool too, okay? Hold on. There we go. Bloop. Let me do that one more time, because I had seen, there we go. It was like a chunk of them that act like they didn't want to, like, act right. Okay. So, doo -doo -doo. Okay. All right. I knew it was a few of them. Now, again, this is a collective read, so not everything is going to resonate with everybody, okay? I almost be wanting to put up one of those, like what they do before the movie, before things get crazy, and be like, viewer discretion is advised. I'm really considering that. Y'all let me know. Because sometimes y'all just be needing a reminder. Okay. So when it comes to sitting with the wound, one of the first cards that came out, we're going to go in order, is to heal with the attachment wound. Okay, that's a real common one. Okay, it says your worth is not tied to being needed. Let go of proving your value. Just simply be. That is one of the wounds of just sitting with, and that's a really hard wound to sit with, because in the process of you sitting literally and being still, um you are retraining your nervous system to not feel like it's got to be overly functional all the time. Like, that's not where you're retraining your nervous system or your body to not receive a dopamine hit behind being performative for not only just yourself but even sometimes others. Like, it's okay to literally just be like just sitting but without the tummy ache. And then the next card we have regarding sitting with the wound is to unblock the flow. Okay. Some of it is just getting out of your procrastination phase, or getting out of your getting out of your own way as far as like stagnancy. Okay. It says when your energy is stuck, nothing moves. Literally. When your energy is stuck, nothing moves. Start small, clean a space, cry it out, speak a truth, and movement is medicine. Heavy on the movement is medicine, okay? Especially with a lot of jobs now becoming a little bit more sedentary. I believe that's the word. I be butchering some words. I ain't gonna hold y'all. But yes, I believe that's it. Sedentary. When like something that's just been sitting for a long time. Um, movement, okay? Getting out and doing anything that is going to allow an energetic flow to once come back within. Yeah, sedentary. And then another one to help with sitting in the wound is to let go of what could have been. Mm, that's another one. That's another. These are some really good cards. I love these cards. I'm not going. I love these cards. But yes, let go of what could have been. It says grief often hides in the story of what didn't happen. Release the almost and return into the now. So all that shoulda, coulda, woulda. Okay, just really feeling like just really just being super hard on yourself or whatever as to far as you feeling like what you maybe could have changed. Even when it comes to healing the attachment wound, you may be being really on your ass right now. Excuse me. You could very much well be in your ass right now, like, oh, I wish I had knew what I know now, what I didn't know then, almost in a sense, right? And you really just trying to like sit. Let me take that back because there was something else coming in. So in the process of you sitting, right, or sitting with these wounds, that doesn't mean actually physically, excuse me, physically sitting like this or in a chair or just like you can still incorporate movement. Part of sitting with the wound is you doing the natural process of decluttering because you have this unblock the flow. And I do feel like with unblocking the flow and actually incorporating more of the things that they actually listed in this card will help with these two. Okay, because one person I'm speaking to, I feel like they have all three of these things going on at once, which that can be very heavy energy. But movement will also help with that. And it can be like, again, they said start small. You don't have to clean the whole house. Maybe you just clean your bedroom, okay? Or maybe just the bathroom, one of the more common areas. Whatever it's just, or you be like, okay, I'm not going to walk, for the next mile or so. Maybe I'm just going to walk to the corner store and back if you got one, or I'll walk my dog if you got an animal or something like that, because sometimes even when you get in this level of a rut, not only just you yourself becomes into more of this energy, but the people around you are noticing it. And especially if you do have pets, I know a lot of times they recommend for people to have pets to help with even getting more movement, okay? Because you, without a doubt, even if you didn't want to do nothing else today, right? um you got to take that dog out for a walk to be able to use the bathroom or something like that, unless you got them home trained. But even still, it's like having, and with children too, but having someone else kind of rely on you in a sense for movement, almost in a way, can help unblock the flow as well. But yeah, crying it out, okay, definitely, because even in this card or whatever, like she's crying. I don't know if you can see the tear. Can you see the tear? But she's got like a little tear like right there. But yeah, even with that, crying it out, really speaking the things that have been hurting you, even if it was one of the main things that you are healing far as the wound is the attachment wound. Like, I took my accolades and my certifications or my usefulness and how I showed up in the world for people and others as my way of achievement or to achievement, and now I have to unlearn and relearn that, and that can take a bit, and that can take some time. Okay, I just had to give y'all that little mouthful because I do feel like that was very important for somebody. Okay. All right. Let's see what else. What else? Um. Uh oh. I did that, y'all. I apologize. I did that. The top of the cards, I didn't hold them as tight, and they just flowed on out. Literally. All right, so let me reshuffle again. With that being said, okay. Okay. Yeah, and that's the biggest of it. The overall theme here is just like releasing. Even with the sitting with the wound, with you sitting in it also, um, is a form of releasing because it's the whole what I'm trying to say. The whole um another theme is you letting out or releasing um because you've been suppressing all of this stuff. Okay. And that's literally one of the biggest things that I am addressing with my channel is we are going to unlock all the suppressed things, even if it's something small. Your life could be completely 100% great to how you felt that you wanted your life to be. But if you have any type of inkling of something that you haven't been addressing, which we all have that, um, and it needs to be a lot more commonly addressed, these suppressed emotions or feelings or things that we tend to try and shy away from or things that we are going through, um, letting them resurface. Okay. Because they slowly give you inklings even throughout things that you are going through. Like even a person that is quote unquote like an overachiever or just achieving things or whatever, like if you know that that is the way that you have been feeling um fulfilled in your emotional sense. It's like, well, what happens when you don't have anything else to prove or achieve in a sense? Okay. Or what happens when that no longer fulfills the suppression anymore? Okay. Because there definitely comes a time for that too. But yes, we have the release card. It says release past burdens and embrace new beginnings. And what better way to produce new beginnings or embrace new beginnings, I'm sorry, by simply incorporating more movement into your life. Whether, like I said, these are some definitely good keys. Okay. I like to cry it out more importantly, because I do feel like with crying, people don't incorporate crying with healing as much as they should. And that is a clear, sure indicator of allowing yourself to heal. Like I think it's Odile. I don't know if y'all too familiar with his music, but Odeal. He got this one song, and literally it say you have to heal to you have to feel to heal, and I love that because that literally life is a feeling process. Everything is based on feeling. How somebody made you feel, how this environment made you feel when you went here, how you made others feel. Everything is based off of feeling because feeling is an energetic pull. So, with that being said and done, if you're not releasing certain feelings, okay, um, you allowing it to essentially have more hold over you and your life and almost stronghold you in a sense more than would, and you don't pay attention to it because a lot of times it end up being subtle, especially if you are a person that is working through the attachment wound of as to how you show up in this world or whatever. You may be so busy doing so much or whatever, it's like you might start slowly getting certain inklings, but unless you are like actually paying attention or really taking those quiet moments, maybe when you sitting by yourself or whatever, to actually really be like, something's just a little off, it's easy to get um misconstrued. Okay, so you got the release. Everything, all of this is just about releasing, pushing out anything that is making you feel stagnant, really anything. And you know that when stuff feels off. Okay, like I ain't got to reiterate that to you. You know when stuff feels off, regardless of what these cards is talking about or what I'm talking about, okay. So let's just see if there's anything else as far as any more messages. But I think that was really good. Okay, you got to heal to feel. That is so real. I heard that and I was just like, oh, he did his thing with that one. Shout out to Odile, or I think that's how you say his name. And discovery. It says discover the treasures within and to follow your passion. Yes, because when you unblock the flow that has been stagnant, you can tap into more of your creative endeavors and your creativity. Honestly, with all this blockage or whatever, somebody may also be having issues with their finances. Side note, just a sidebar, because it's no way you got all this going on and your money is flowing like you want it to. Not saying that you ain't getting no money at all, but it's just not coming to you free fall or effortlessly to an extent when it very much well could, because you are putting your focus in so much in these different categories that it's distracting you from finding the natural passions that you enjoy in order to make your money and to do it in a way where you're happy about the things that you do. Not saying that you're not now. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying like a there's always a better way to answer the same math equation if you pick up what I'm putting down. Okay. So with that, once you started sitting with the different wounds and addressing them, and definitely giving the time and space for them to basically um the time and space to basically show themselves, okay? Then you can move forward on just like, creative endeavors and just like really doing your shit out here or whatever. All right. Let me pull one more. These feel so good. If there is another reader out there, they know what I'm talking about, where it's like the car, you just know when some cards just like really feel good flowing through your hands, like it's like butter. Literally, it's like cutting some like butter. Like it just feels right. Go all the way to the end per usual. And then we gonna get out of here. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's good. And it says fake illusion. See, that's exactly what I was just speaking to. Especially when it comes to healing, with healing the attachment wound, with feeling busy, it could look very much well like the mask is starting to fall down, okay? Where maybe you were this person that was just like basically like this, like you was always um perceiving yourself or looking at yourself like you were already at your peak in a sense, or you were already at your most evolved level, right? But it was an illusion when this is really where you starting off, okay? These two animals don't even go together. Like how you a fox thinking that you a tiger? Like stop it. You need to do what foxes do and be the best fox that you are. He need to be a tiger and be the best tiger that he is. So really just with this release or whatever, that is part of what you're doing when it comes to the discovery. You're discovering, realizing that some things that you have been doing as to how you've been doing things or whatever, like this ain't it. Okay. And you may have gotten this far, like I said, and you got to just keep it a being with yourself or whatever. Okay. You ain't even got to, this is something that you got to go through internally. You know where you've been faking it to make it. Simple as that. And I'm really speaking to this heal the attachment wound because I really do feel like in today's society, a lot of times or whatever, um, emphasis on the faking it till you make it or whatever, like sometimes that literally can come back and hurt you because it just depends on how you're doing it or how you are choosing to use that. Because if you are so used to being so, and the reason why I say that is because we see so many different times where there are like even certain like celebrity figures, um, you have enough examples. They don't even got to be a celebrity, but you may have seen a person that you had quote unquote looked up to, right? And then behind closed doors, they got all this other stuff going on. But to the outside world or whatever, it's like you would have never knew. And that's because they just had some skeletons, in their closet, or they simply just didn't take the time to really go on and discover and release, the different things that need to be released within themselves so that they can actually move in more of an organic way of being who they truly are. Okay, because ain't no way no fox can be no damn tiger. And then lastly, we have is using a lot more of your fire energy is what I'm gonna say with this. This goes hand in hand with the discovery card. You have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So it could be um you even learning more about your passion and desires and how to cultivate that into your world now where it makes sense. And what better way to learn that from these fire signs? Okay, I mean they do it well. They do that well. Whether if that is you yourself that I'm speaking to, maybe is another fire sign, um, or even just fire signs as a whole that are surrounding you right now, or just that is the energy that you should be picking up of just more fiery passion, um, and just really following your passions in itself and really going with that. Because with this fake illusions or whatever, like baby, you was just in a world when you was just doing whatever however to just get by, okay, and just make it this far, which is fine. Okay, we're not ain't no shade over here, ain't no shade over here. But now that you know better, it's time to do better. Simple as that. Okay, let's see if there is anything else. Ooh, hold on, y'all. Excuse me. I need to do that little stretch. That felt great. Especially with unblocking the flow. Okay. Like, yes, go outside. Okay. Maybe even yoga. Yoga is another really good one. Okay. People be sleeping on it. And that don't mean you got to be doing no downward dog and pose in order to do some yoga. You can find yoga that you can do in your chair. Like, really baseline stuff. Okay, we got bravery. It says face the unknown with bravery and trust your steps. I'm glad that this came out. Hold on, let me go to the end before I'm glad that came out. I'm going a little bit over my time, but that's okay because I'm really glad that this was the last card. And the reason why I say that is because you know how much bravery and guts that it takes for people to really address the internal wounds that they be having within that they are going through. Okay. Whether if they choose to put that on the mainstream or the main stage or whatever, or you just choose to do it in more of a um what's the word? Just like really sitting with yourself behind, behind in your house or whatever, or behind closed doors or whatever, long story short. Um Understanding that what you are doing or whatever, even the bravery of releasing the fake illusion that you have once been putting up all this time or whatever. Like maybe there have been some things that you have been doing that just like you ain't even want to do the shit. Okay, but you just did it because the outside illusion made you look a certain way or made you appear like strong and all that comes with it, super responsible and all this type of shit. And you just like, yeah, no, I don't even want to. What? And the bravery that it takes for you to even stand up and be able to speak out like that or whatever, it not only helps release you as far as with all this releasing that's coming out in these cards or whatever, it helps you release yourself from that illusion, but um it helps you change your focus more on the things that need to be addressed. Okay? Because this fake shit ain't gonna help. Get it up out of here. So yes, I love that. It says face the unknown with bravery and to trust your steps because you really are stepping out there on faith. Okay, you don't necessarily know what the other side of your life necessarily looks like for say per se. When it comes to just not only addressing all these different wounds, but releasing the fake illusion that you have been putting up or masking all this time while knowing that you were hurting inside. Okay, I mean seriously. But basically, the biggest of it is you are trusting not only just yourself, but you are trusting these steps, and you are really listening and following your intuition intuitively. Because this is definitely some intuition going on here. Okay, that you like something just ain't right, something is off, but you are actually ready to. You're actually willing, and your openness to actually seek change because you got to seek change at your own whenever you get good and ready. It don't matter how many people may have even came by and maybe even told you and gave you inklings and stuff along the way. Okay, because it's definitely, I do feel like people do get nudges or whatever, right? But if they're not ready to hear and receive that those messages or that energy right there in that point of time or whatever, then it just go in one ear out the other. But now that you are finally ready, okay, it's time for you to just do things differently. And I love that for you, okay? Because at the end of the day, it's like anything that is making you feel like you got to put on a certain facade and not be yourself, okay, you doing yourself more of the disservice that you than you think. Because that in itself or whatever, I would also encourage for you to get your health checked, because all of this stuff that's been going on internally, whether if it was just like mental turmoil or whatever going within, as far as some of the decisions that you chose to make or whatever the case may be, all of these ailments can eventually play out into your physical as well. So maybe you haven't been feeling the best when it comes to like your health and stuff like that. That could also be a certain stopper as far as unblocking the flow. It could be more of your energetic field as far as like your body and how it's been responding to you when you try to do certain things, okay? So for whoever that needed to be, confirmation, let that resonate. Let it sit with you. But that's what I have for you guys. Please know that this is um everybody's journey is not only different or whatever, but there ain't no race. I don't know what the fuck everybody be racing for. What you in a hurry to get to? Like, baby, this is your life and your journey, and you gonna move on your own time. Okay, so do with that what you will. Fill in the blank. Don't try to get so caught up in what is going on out here or whatever to the point that you start adhering to timelines that ain't even got nothing to do with you. Come on now, get up out of it. But that is what I have for you guys. Thank you guys so much for listening to me with Listening Lotus. I appreciate you guys sending all the love back. If you would like to reach out to me for as any way, shape, or form of fashion, I do have a text number and a website that you can reach out and go ahead and see what you like or whatever. And I will talk to y'all when I talk to y'all. Y'all be easy. And remember that the work that you are doing is damn good at all points and all fronts. Okay. Bye, y'all.